where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
Hey UK Bills Mafia, this is Christian Wade of your Buffalo Bills. This is the Red, White and Buffalo Blues, a UK Bills podcast with your hosts, Matt and Alex. Let's go Buffalo! Woo!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Red, White and Buffalo Blues, a UK Bills podcast talking Bills news with a UK twist. Your host Matt is with you as usual, and my co-host Alex is here. Alex, how have you been?
I'm going to be on the road Sunday for about 6 hours. We're going to go see if we could find Loch Ness. I hope the weather is well for her to come out. I would love to see Nessie, but I would also love to watch the Bills win. So yeah, I'll be watching it in the passenger seat of my car on my phone. Hopefully by the time we get there, we'll be able to get on and do a nice review of a easy Bills win.
So you got a hotel overlooking Loch Ness then?
Not overlooking, no.
Wait.
You need a budget hotel, but no, we're staying at a hotel that's directly across from the one of the castles that they have over there, so that'll be nice. But honestly, you bring up a good point. I know people are here to listen to us talk about Bills Jets, but when it comes to picking a hotel, who cares what the view is? You're there to sleep, and that's it. So save your money, get a hotel with a view of the parking lot. You know?
Well, I was actually hoping that you'd actually for our review show, when we actually do it on video, that you have a nice background in the back of you.
Yeah, no.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. But honestly, we tried that with our Steelers review, and that looked ugly. So I don't think we're really going to work on anything that much. It can't be anything worse. We did a podcast last year where I was in Cincinnati and I was doing it from the bathroom. Not like I was doing anything in the bathroom. It just was the safest room to do it in because my wife was watching TV in the other room. But yeah, let's stop tangenting. Is that a word? To go on a
Probably.
We'll see. We're not going to dictionary.com that. Let's talk about Bills Jets.
Yes, so week 1, here we go. We've got return of the NFL, the return of the Bills at home, facing the New York Jets, a Jamal Adams less.
Yes, Jets.
Jets.
Yes, the game's at home, and I wish that mattered, but unfortunately, New York State doesn't want people in the stadium. So that's going to be a big bummer, and I hope it doesn't affect the players on the field. But in terms of what they can affect, it's their play. And the Jets' defense last year was no joke. Greg Williams, whom we know well, has always been a good defensive coordinator. Better against the rush than the pass. 13 of his 22 years, he's had a top 15 rush defense, but only 8 of those has he also had a top 15 pass defense. So last year, the Jets were ranked second against the run, but only 17th against the pass. But like you said, they've lost Jamal Adams, so their pass defense hurts. And they had C.J. Mosley, their top linebacker, opt out due to family concerns and COVID. So that's going to hurt their rush defense as well. Anything you're expecting from the Jets defense, possibly? What do you think?
To be honest, not much. I mean,
right? Yeah.
They've got, who do they get? They got, is it Brandon McDougal, was it? The other safety when they did the trade for Jamal Adams. I mean, their safeties still look one of the best, obviously not as good as Hyde and Poyer.
Right.
It's their, I think their issue at the moment will be, especially on the defensive side, you're looking at the cornerbacks. I mean, when you're going up against Diggs and Brown that can stretch the field, you've got Dawson Knox and Cole Beasley going underneath. The loss of Mosley, and I believe they've got a couple other guys, especially linebackers, that are actually a bit of a doubt for the game, you can't see this Jets defense really living with the Bills. I mean, offense is slightly the same. I think you've got Darnold.
Their offensive line have returned only one player. So, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, just staying on with the Jets defense, because I think the focus of this game, obviously, in the season is, will the Bills offense match the Bills defense, right?
Yeah,
will the Bills offense take that next step? So I think this is a really good game for them to come out and start that, because even though I said Greg Williams is good, he's lost some key pieces, and Adam Gase is the worst. So I think there will be opportunities here. I think what we might see off the start is, the first drive, the first maybe 2 drives are all scripted, right? So what we did last year, we came out slinging it, short stuff, real like West Coast offense feel to it. Quick passes, shotgun. I see that happening again. Take advantage of the middle of the field where they're weak at linebacker. I think the biggest game script is going to be Diggs and Brown stretching the defense, and then a lot of targets to Beasley, Knox, and the running backs. And I know that we all want to see Diggs go off. You want to try out that new toy, right? And for sure they're going to target him deep once or twice. The Jets' cornerbacks are pretty weak. This is going to be a situation where is Josh Allen's deep ball better than last year's, right?
Yeah, no, I think it is. I think he's had that time. He's had that connection. What we've seen from him, from the numerous videos in training camp, where he's actually putting those balls on a dime, and the receivers not having to slow down, hitting him in the stride.
Right.
It's good in training. In camp when there's going to be not really any competitive edge to it. Obviously, the one-on-one matchups just will actually be there for a bit of spice. But to do it in a competitive game when you actually have full-blown linemen coming charging after you, can he do it? Is going to be the question. But I can see him. I can actually see, and this is going to be my hot take, I can actually see him throw his first 300-yard game.
Ooh, cool off. Hot take. Look out.
I'm taking that. I mean, if not, then I will hold my hands up. I will do a forfeit or something like that. I'll take a lot of slack. But I think this game is going to be Josh's first 300 game.
So there's 2 ways that a quarterback throws for 300 yards. The game is close and he has to keep slinging it in a shootout, or they're putting their foot on their opponent's, throat. They're crushing them, and they're not taking the foot off the pedal. Is that in the nature of Sean McDermott, though? I feel like he's a guy who's just going to be like, all right, if we're up by 20, we're just going to run it with Zach Moss, right? I mean, in talking about the running, like I said, the Jets were good against the run last year. This will all kind of come down to what Daboll wants to do. If he gets cute and he wants to run the ball to control the clock and do stuff like that, I think you're going to see a closer game than you want, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can see the Bills starting out strong for it. I think Daboll, he's had an off season where there's the whole coronavirus has actually really limited what he can actually do, but the weapons he's now got at his disposal, I can see them running spread option, spread offenses and 4 wide receiver sets and stuff like that to really take advantage. I can see that happening. I can see the slinging man mentality. I can even see them going into the no huddle.
I think Adam Gase and Greg Williams did say that they expect the Bills to do that, and they've prepared for it. I don't know if that's posturing or not, but a good team controls game flow. They're not reactionary. They're aggressive, and they dictate game flow. So if the Jets are prepared for it, but because we have more returning players, our chemistry is tighter because all of our, The core, the skeleton of this team is returning from last year. So we should be on the same page. We should dictate the game no matter what the Jets have prepared for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've been saying this all through the off season. Continuity. The fact that I think I read somewhere the Bills were only one of a handful of teams that returned over like 85% of their roster from last year back for this coming season. And obviously with the situation we're finding ourselves in,
it's more
that's going to help a lot.
Yeah.
As you mentioned earlier, the Jets on offense, they've returned one starter. They've got a rookie tackle, a good rookie tackle, and they've got a couple of serviceable, I wouldn't call them great interior linemen. Connor McGovern is one of them who actually on his day can play well. But
yeah, they did what the Bills did last offseason. They completely retooled the offensive line. But without preseason, with a weird offseason, I don't think they're going to gel quite quickly. So
exactly.
I think that plays into our advantage.
I mean, you're looking at the wide receiver core for the Jets of Perryman, Chris Hogan, and
Denzel,
I have no idea who the
Crowder.
Yeah, and then the other one, which I assume is a really depth pick or a rookie, because Denzel.
Did you say Brashad Perriman?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he did well. He did well in that one Tampa Bay game last year where both Godwin and Evans went out. But I mean, I think that's just because they were just chucking it. That was more of a game script than his skill. But yeah, I'm not worried about that. I think the biggest, if the Jets were to win, which is crazy, it's gonna be through Le'Veon Bell. The Bills' rush D was average last year, but at the same time, the Jets' rush offense was bad. When you look at the talent point of view, their best player on offense is Le'Veon Bell. If their offensive line at all has some, puts something together, then that's going to be what they do to us. But at the same time, look at the Giants game last year. Saquon Barkley ran all over us at the beginning of the game, but then we went up. We forced them to throw the ball, and then the game was over. So I see a lot of that happening again. I mean, you were talking about the Jets' skill players. They don't have enough weapons, skill players, depth, or chemistry to stop anything we can do. And their coaching staff is not good enough to be able to put it all together so quickly.
But yeah, and you're also going to factor in that, yes, at the beginning of games all last season, our run defense was shocking before it actually started tightening up. Mm-hmm. But you can see that's now improved by who they've actually brought in. Vernon Butler is a good run stuffer. We may have lost Star Lutulele, but Ed Oliver can make a difference. Quinton Jefferson's can stop the run. So they've actually brought in players to actually solidify it.
Yeah, and I think AJ Epinesa is more of a run stopper than he is a pass rusher. They talked about his ability to be a good player off the run. So I think on running downs we might see more of Epinesa versus on passing downs where he just maybe doesn't have the strength to get through.
And you've also got Harry Phillips.
Yeah. I mean, our top 7 is better than their offensive line and whatever they can put out there. I think the biggest storyline is going to be Allen's progression and his chemistry with Diggs. If Allen takes the next step and Diggs is who he says he is and what we've seen him do, then this game will be over early. If Allen is pressured and Daboll tries to get cute, then this could be close. Never in doubt, but close.
Yeah, I think my only concern, if there is to be a concern about this game, is quarterback 2, because we now know that Josh Norman is out of week 1, so we're rolling with Trey and then Levi.
I mean, I don't want to challenge you, but I do, because that's the same. I mean, we rolled with Trey and Levi last year and it worked out fine. I mean, Josh Norman, I think if anything, he's going to be more of just like a fill-in player, especially against a Jets offense that has nobody scary at wide receiver. The only thing that I could see getting in our way is Josh being silly and Daboll, thinking he's, Belichick.
Yeah, I mean,
So if you're worried about corner in secondary depth, I wouldn't be. This
I mean,
maybe for the season, yeah, but for this game, no.
okay, yeah, no, I can see a challenge coming there. My obviously worry was obviously you have who you gonna bring up? You're gonna bring up Cam Lewis or Dane Jackson,
I don't.
or
I, I you know.
or you gonna roll with Sharon Neal coming in as backup with Teron Johnson. That's the only concern. I don't have a concern about the Jets actually
Mhm,
beating our wide receivers, our cornerbacks,
mhm.
because pretty much will not happen. I mean, Hogan, yes, he has his good days on there. Perryman will be shut down by
Yeah, Hogan hasn't
Greg.
been good for like 3 years, so I wouldn't worry about that. I think he's cooked.
But then you've just got it's just a case of that it's just the depth that actually just worries me because obviously one injury to Trey or
Shut up! Don't even say it. Don't
I
even
know
say that.
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm touching words as I'm saying this, but one
Yeah.
injury to one of those two, and then that's where the concern will happen. That's why that was my only concern with Josh Norman not
Yeah.
being there, because at least if Norman or blah 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 blah, I'm not saying the name because I'm not going to jinx anything whilst touching wood, actually goes down, at least you still have a top player in there ready to go. So if we lost, and then obviously that's the only concern I really have, the fact that he isn't available, and just weakens slightly the cornerback room. But then again, Cam Lewis had an excellent preseason by all accounts. Saron Neal's shown some good play, so what could be a concern could turn into eventually a strength.
Yeah, and I think it's really not even gonna matter that much because I consider the Jets' offensive line to be just right now below average, and our defensive line with our linebackers blitzing at the right times. Leslie Frazier's gonna know how to handle the game flow. He's gonna know when to put pressure on Darnold. Um, I think that you're gonna have a situation where he's gonna be under pressure all game.
Yeah.
So this might be an opportunity to allow Norman to, get healthy, come back next week, then we can have that depth again.
Mm.
Considering if Norman is even going to be a shadow of the player that he was in the past. If he's anything
Yeah.
like he was last year, I think he's a non-factor.
Is
But
it is it wrong for me to say that I've already started my scouting for next year's draft and scouting the cornerbacks?
we haven't played a game yet, for Christ's sake. Um, let's finish talking about the Jets before we talk about the draft. So essentially, I mean, this show doesn't need to be long because
No.
we know what we have and we know what we're up against. We won't
Yeah.
even need to score a lot of points in this one. If last year taught us anything, it's that a win is a win. And I know that we have sky high expectations, but at the end of the day, scoreboard. 1-0
Yes.
is 1-0.
Yeah.
We might. I mean, I don't see any more than 10 points coming from this Jets offense that has replacement players at wide receiver. We talked about Mekhi Becton, but the rest of the O line is new players. You know, they haven't had any chance to get work in, and our D line, they're all established. They know how to play together. Ed Oliver's going to be better. We're going to pressure Darnold. He's going to look uncomfortable, and it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
The most important thing to talk about, though, is the biggest wild card, which is the COVID changes to the year in general. We know what the NFL looks like based off of a one game sample size. And when you look at the
Mm.
Texans Chiefs game, it was the Texans offense that looked like they were still figuring it out with the loss of Hopkins. They had to create a whole new system around the loss of a deep threat. And then you saw the Chiefs, who are established, and they had complete control. And I think
Yeah.
that's the same situation for Bills Jets. The Jets have too many new pieces, and the Bills are comfortable in their own skin still. I mean, starting off. Um, all we have are a few new additions. We're not relying on them. The Bills team last year, without the draft, without Diggs, could beat this Jets team. So I'm saying 24-10 Bills.
Okay. I think it's going to be a blowout. I can see this defense actually shutting down Darnold, shutting down the offense. I mean, just put a few ghosts out there and that'll just, you don't even have to play with a defense.
You don't, yeah.
For it. But no, it's, as long as we don't start off like we started out last year against the Jets. I think we were 16-0 down at one point, and then turned it around. But it's all changed now. It is the continuity factor. I mean, we have it, Jets don't. I think the pieces, we've stayed healthy throughout this, throughout the whole training camp and off season. We've not had any major opt-outs. I can't really put a score on it. All I just know is that it's going to be a blowout and a big Bills win.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything like last year's week 1 where it was 16-0, 3 minutes into three with 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter, where we had to score 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to win this game, 17-16 last year. If there's a little bit of that, I won't panic. I'll chalk it up to week 1 awkwardness.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that this is a game where we get the lead and we secure it and we hold on. If you're right and we do blow out, then this is going to be a team where my expectations and my optimism kind of go through the roof. I'm willing to lose it if we win like 30-3. I mean, I'm as a Bills fan, and I don't know how you can stay optimistic. As a Bills fan, all this hype this year is freaking me out.
Really?
All I see is the Browns on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the next team, the next dynasty, and then they suck. We're the darlings this year, and if we dud, we're just gonna get annihilated. And my emotions will go through the gamut, and I'm gonna be like, oh my God, we're off. Here we go again. Josh Allen can't. But then I'll mellow out.
Yeah.
The confines of me watching the game in a car, the claustrophobia of it is just going to amplify any worries I have if we don't look good to start. So, you might want to call and check on me if things aren't going well.
All right. I'll send a message saying the car's not crashed yet.
Yeah. But, I mean, in all honesty, I can't see any parallel universe where this game goes bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm still sticking by my my hot take of Allen's going to get that 300-yard game.
I want you to be right, and even my prediction of 24-10 is a comfortable W, but there's just this part of me that's like we've been bad forever, and I can't shake that. No matter how good we look, I'm gonna Bills fan, and I don't. Yeah. I don't mean drunk Bills fan jumping through tables who says 16-0 every year. I've never been I've never been that person. I've always been the here we go. But this year it's here we go. If you can tell the difference in my tone, I'm excited. So let's just let's end the show. I'm gonna go to bed early because I'm pumped for tomorrow.
That's fair enough. I mean, hopefully tomorrow we will try and get a review show out. Depending
if not,
on,
it'll definitely be Monday morning.
Yeah, or Monday lunchtime.
Monday afternoon, yeah.
But no, it's gonna be interesting. The season's back. We will like to see all your photos of how you're actually going to be watching the game in your gear, and to the people that have actually that have expressed interest in the project, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to reveal anything. The project. Check your messages and get those over to us as quickly as possible, because we're really looking forward to this. I've got a few surprises. Let's put it that way.
It's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it.
So keep subscribing to the podcast. Keep following us at UK_Bills on Instagram, RWBB_pod on Twitter. Where else am I forgetting? I keep saying this every single time. I keep forgetting one.
Yeah, the YouTube hello.
Oh yes, that's the one.
My
YouTube.
pet project, yeah. We're still working on getting those subscribers. I know that we get a lot of listens. We get over 100 listens on this show per show, but our YouTube is only at 48 subscribers. Please go to YouTube, Buffalo Bills UK, hit that subscribe button, check out our content. It's really good stuff. You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah. So if there is nothing else that you would like to add,
that's all we got.
Then for me and for Alex, it is thank you for listening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Enjoy week 1. Bills win, hopefully. We'll be back with a review show. And it's all that's left for me to say is go Bills.
Go Bills.